You guys like my shirt? How about my coffee mug? Oh, wait, baby, we outside. Let's get into it. Man, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Darren, man. I'm the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I talk about fragrances on this channel. I talk about fashion. So if you like looking good and smelling great, then you might find some value in the content on my channel. So please consider subscribing to it and make sure you hit the bell icon as well. So when I upload new content, YouTube will notify you. All right, guys. So you see I'm rocking my shirt here. It's my logo. Look good, smell amazing. That's what I say. That's what I talk about all the time. I also have a coffee mug here with the logo on it. Listen, man, this feels amazing to be drinking coffee out of a mug with my mug on it. This is dope, man. So I did this thing with Teesprings and just to try it out, and I kind of like it. I do want to change the font on the shirt, but other than that, man, this is dope, man. Especially the coffee mug. That's dope, man. Check that out. That is dope. Yeah, man. So I've been trying to link it to my channel, but of course I have issues. Like it seems like everybody else can do something, and then when I try to do it, there's issues. So there's something going on with the link where I couldn't link it. But if you go to my my YouTube page, if you go to my YouTube homepage, and I think it says like merchandise or something over there in the corner. If you click on that, you can see the things that I've already put in the store over there. So if you guys want to go over there and at least look at what I've gotten so far and check it out, that'll be dope, man. But this is how your boy is rocking it today, man, with the Bowtie Fragrance Guy t-shirt. So guys, on today's video, man, I'm gonna be jumping in and talking about some fragrances in my collection that for me personally get attention and are conversation starters. There's been a lot of dialogue about fragrances and what fragrances really can and cannot do, and I get it. You know, when you look at what a fragrance actually is, it's an extension of, you know, your branding, your image, you know. And while it cannot do certain things like actually get you a girlfriend, the point of the matter is fragrances do start conversations. So if you're out and about and you're wearing a nice fragrance, you know, and you're dressed apart, you're doing your thing. If somebody asks you the question, hey, what is that you're wearing? It smells good. There's a chance to start a conversation. That's really what it's all about, man. There's no magic to this stuff. But again, I'm telling you guys, you're rocking your fragrances, you're out there, you're smelling good, you're looking good. Fragrances do and will start the conversation. Now, what you do after that is all up to you, but it is what it is, and that's what we're gonna be jumping into today. I have 10 fragrances in my collection, and these are only 10 because there's a lot more that I have that would fit this category. But I'm gonna be talking about some that I've worn here more recently that has done just that. It's caused people to stop, ask, hey, what is that you're wearing, and start a conversation. So that's what we're gonna get into today. So if you wanna see what's on this list, 10 fragrances that grab people's attention and start conversations, then you know the routine, man. Keep it locked right here. Let's get it.
The Bowtie Fragrance Guy.
All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. We're gonna go ahead and jump right into the video. Right before I do that, again, just a friendly reminder, guys, go over to Navitus.com and go ahead and pick up my fragrances that I released about a month ago now. The buzz is out there and people have really been enjoying the fragrances. So head on over there and support your boy and pick up your favorite. All right, so the first fragrance up on the list today, this fragrance actually is one that comes from the house of Electimus. I've been kind of exploring that fragrance brand as of late. They have a lot of really good offerings, and I'm going to be talking a little bit more about them in the coming weeks here. But this one right here I've had in the collection for a little while now, and it is definitely a conversation starter. And this one is called Imperium. Imperium. And some folks that say that this has a Creed Aventus kind of vibe to it. Maybe a little bit. It does not have pineapple. It does have a very nice bergamot in the opening. And sometimes the way bergamot can be used, it can kind of give off the same nuance. It has a nice pineapple note, but this is more, I would say this is more closer to, it's a little bit more of a fresher version to me of Hachivat from Nishane. Because it has that vanilla in there. The vanilla is really amplified in this fragrance. It has vanilla and it has that more earthy kind of base to it with the patchouli in here. Yeah, so you definitely get that. You get the patchouli, but you also get some guide wood in here that gives that little bit of smokiness. Because oftentimes one of the most prominent accords in Creed Aventus that people recognize is that smoked birch wood accord, and you get that kind of from guide wood in here. But other than that, again, this fragrance kind of does its own thing, but it does a good thing. One, again, for me, that is definitely one of those attention-grabbing fragrances. And I think that is really because of that vanilla in this fragrance. But anyway, check it out, guys. It's really a good one from the House of Electimus. Again, this one is called Imperium. All right, this next fragrance actually comes from the House of YSL. So, guys, relax. I have designer and these fragrances on this list, so I'm not going to leave anybody out. There's fragrances on this list from kind of, each price point. Designer, niche stuff, a little bit more high-end, more expensive, a little bit more less expensive. But anyway, this one is from the House of Yves Saint Laurent, and this is called L'Homme Les Parfums. L'Homme Les Parfums. I talked about this fragrance a lot, and so I won't go into much detail on it, but it's just a really enjoyable scent DNA. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of got that blue thing going on, kind of ozonic, aromatic fragrance, a little bit of an aquatic vibe to it as well. But like I said, when you look at a fragrance like this and this kind of scent DNA, it's just really mass appealing and familiar to a lot of people that you come into contact with. It's very recognizable. It's not a scent that people are going to notice when you wear this. And like I said, this is the kind of scent DNA that the average person, not frag heads, not those crazy folks like us that has over 25, 30 fragrances. I'm talking about the average person. It's not really into fragrances like that. When they smell a fragrance like this, to them, this is what smells good. And that's why this fragrance gets a lot of compliments. You have the original L'Homme DNA, but a little bit more of a blue aquatic vibe to it. So I really enjoyed this one. And again, for me, this gets a lot of attention and starts conversation. So check it out from the House of Yves Saint Laurent. This is L'Homme Les Parfums. All right, this next fragrance actually comes from the House of Louis Vuitton. Another one I've talked about a lot. This is a very highly complimented fragrance. And this one is called Lamoncetate. Lamoncetate. Very easy to wear, very versatile, very kind of all season long, any season, any occasion kind of fragrance. Yeah, it's just what it is. It kind of got this nice fruity opening to the fragrance. A hint of citrus there as well. When it dries down, you get a little amber, a little bit of ambroxan to kind of push the fragrance a little bit, as far as performance, and again, kind of contribute to that overall mass appealing kind of DNA that you get with this. But it smells phenomenal. I actually wore this fragrance yesterday. Again, one that gets a lot of compliments. Again, this one kind of like the previous fragrance I talked about, L'Homme Les Parfums. This fragrance this DNA is very approachable. Something that people recognize when you wear it, and they feel compelled to at least inquire about what it is that you're wearing. Happens a lot when I wear this, but check it out again, guys, from the House of Louis Vuitton. This is called Lamoncetate. All right, this next fragrance actually is one that I've talked a lot about on the channel. Probably one of the first people to really talk about this fragrance, not the brand, but more so this particular fragrance. And everybody that has gotten this fragrance based on my recommendation and has shared in the sentiments with me that this is just an amazing fragrance from the House of Maison Sir. This is called Eau de Jean Jam. Again, one of the most uplifting, vibrant fragrances I have in my collection. The translation of this is ginger water. Oh my God, it smells so good, man. Oh, this is so good. This is so good. Listen, again, if summertime, this should be in everybody's rotation. Spring, summertime, this should be in everybody's rotation. This stuff is amazing. That's all I can really say. And it's a really fizzy, uplifting, bright fragrance with that ginger. Very fizzy fragrance. And again, this is so good. It, to me, is really hard for somebody not to like this kind of DNA. It's really to find issue with this. And it does pretty good in the performance category as well. So if you're looking for something that's really attention grabbing and you're into really fresh fragrances, this is one I think you really need to look at, guys, from the house of Mais and Sir. Again, this fragrance is called Acqu Di Gio. All right, guys, the next fragrance on the list, this one actually comes from the house of Costume National, and it's simply called Soul. Soul from Costume National. Now, this particular fragrance, I want to amend something that I said, because when you have as many fragrances as I do, sometimes you kind of forget about fragrances sometimes when you're speaking about certain things. And I got to go back and amend something. This right here is right up there with Gucci Intense Oud on the designer side of things as far as the best oud designer fragrance. This may even have Gucci Intense Oud. They're really 1A and 1B. This stuff is so good. Very approachable oud fragrance. Oud leather, a little bit of spicy kick, fresh kick on the opening there, some bergamot, pink pepper on the opening. Man, this stuff is really, really good. And again, it's an approachable oud. So it's not over the top, it's not skanky, barnyard at all. This is something that even the more casual person that enjoys somebody or something that smells good, will kind of recognize this one. It's not over the top. It's not going to turn anybody off. This stuff is just absolutely fantastic. Put your nose on this, guys. This is one that's a little bit harder to find sometimes. But if you like oud, or if you're a person that was afraid to wear oud because you thought that all oud were, kind of skanky, animalic, and over the top, this is one I think that you would enjoy as well. So check it out from the house of Costume National. This is called Soul. All right, this next fragrance needs no introduction. Not a lot of dialogue required for this one from the house of Creed. This is Silver Mountain Water. Silver Mountain Water. So fresh, so clean, so invigorating. I've always said this is my most complimented Creed fragrance. Oh my gosh. And there's nothing like this. There are some good inspired by kind of clone fragrances, but just like a vintage, nothing quite captures the essence of this fragrance, that freshness. The freshness and then that kind of metallic thing that a lot of folks talk about, those two elements of this fragrance, no other inspired by a clone fragrance has quite caught or captured what this one does in those two areas. This stuff is absolutely phenomenal, unique, and one of a kind. Definitely a conversation starter. This is one that women really compliment me on when I wear it. Just something about it, oh my God. I can't believe that I didn't really particularly care for this when I first sprayed it. I've told the story many times on this fragrance, but I won't go into it this time. But again, from the house of Creed, you're looking for something besides a vintage that is an attention getter, a conversation starter, look no further than the one in the white bottle. This is called Silver Mountain Water. All right, now the next fragrance that I want to talk about, definitely a conversation starter, an attention grabber from the house of Bond number 9. This is called New York Nights. New York Nights, my gosh, guys, this stuff right here is so good, man. There's not a good enough word for me to tell you how good this fragrance is. Oh my goodness. So you immediately get this kind of nutty nuance to this fragrance, and I think that's coming from like a caramel coffee combination. And although they're base notes, I get it immediately when I spray this fragrance. Now it's offset a little bit by a little bit of spices and a little bit of florals in the opening, because you get some gardenia in this and carnation in the opening. But man, to me, it is really about, the sandalwood, the caramel, and the coffee. This stuff is so amazing. Again, and it's something that, again, you have folks that, if you're not really a fan of florals, although the opening of this has florals listed, it's not really a floral fragrance. The floral just kind of offset the sweetness a little bit, but it's spicy and gourmand and creamy, and this stuff just smells phenomenal. Again, definitely a conversation starter. So check this one out, guys, from the house of Bond number 9. This one's called New York Nights. All right, guys, now this next fragrance that I want to talk about, actually a little bit a fragrance that I've actually picked up here a little more recently from the house of Unique Luxury. But guys, you gotta get your nose on this thing, man. This one is called Beverly Hills Exclusive. Beverly Hills Exclusive, and my goodness, man, this stuff is phenomenal. If you like, oh my gosh, if you like fragrances like Wajan, 1 Million Privé, it kind of fits in that same category. Doesn't smell exactly like those, but if you like those kind of fragrances, you like this because it has honey, tonka bean, and tobacco. This stuff is good. My God. Guys, just check this one out. I'm telling you right now, again, if you like fragrances in that wheelhouse, you're going to enjoy the heck out of this fragrance. It is absolutely delicious when you smell it. Oh, man. Again, from the house of Unique Luxury, my guy down there, Alan Burgess, that runs the Beverly Hills Perfumery down there in California. This is where I purchased this from, and he sent me some really great samples, by the way. All of which are full bottle worthy. I'll talk about that in another video. But this is a good fragrance because a lot of people are into that sweet stuff. Sometimes you have on a fragrance that's really sweet. It's not overly sweet, but just that right amount of sweetness to catch people's attention. That's what category this fits into. So check it out from the house of Unique Luxury. This is called Beverly Hills Exclusive. All right, guys, and last but not least, this fragrance comes from the house of Azzaro, and this is Wanted by Night. Wanted by Night, to me, this is one of the best designer fragrances ever created. Again, when you talk about the performance aspect, you talk about, just the overall scent DNA. This stuff is so good. You can kind of smell the original Wanted underneath this, but this is a lot better. It has a nice fruity opening to me. I get oranges, I get citruses in the opening. Get a little bit of leather, get some Ice Sweet Super in here. That's what kind of enhances the overall performance of this fragrance. And then I also get this nice ambery base to this thing. Guys, I think it has leather. I want to say there is some vanilla and benzoin. That forms that kind of ambery accord to this fragrance. This stuff is phenomenal. Phenomenal, man. Get this in your life if you don't have it, guys. This is one that is not going to cost you a lot of money. And we're going into the seasons, to me, where this fragrance will shine. So get it in your collection, man. Definitely a conversation starter for sure. From the house of Azzaro, this is called Wanted by Night. All right, guys, that's it. That's my time. I hope you enjoyed the video today as I gave you 10 fragrances from my collection that are attention grabbers, conversation starters. As always, I sincerely appreciate your time. I appreciate your attention to these videos. You don't have to watch, but you do, and sincerely, I appreciate that. Now, don't forget, if you don't mind, do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you're sharing these videos out to some other folks out there in the world that you think could use this information to find it entertaining. Because I'm your guy, your main dude, the bow tie fragrance guy. I love looking good and smelling amazing, as the shirt says. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side.